National Geographic reader Water by Melissa Stewart. A watery world. Take a look at Earth from space. Why does our planet look so blue? It's blue because water covers almost 3/4 of Earth's surface. Half of the world's plants and animals live in water. The other half depend on water to live and grow. Life as we know it couldn't exist without water. The first life on Earth was tiny one-celled creatures that appeared in the ocean about 3.5 billion years ago, so the scientists say. As time passed, these simple creatures changed and developed. They became larger, more complex creatures. Really, we all know God created everything. The earliest animals probably lived about 6 million years ago. Eventually, some animals left the water and moved onto land, but many animals and other creatures continued to live in Earth's ocean. Or, in 7 days, God created the heavens and the earth, and also the plants and animals of both the sea and land. We all know that as fact. All about oceans. Almost all of Earth's water is in its 4 huge oceans: the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Arctic. All of the oceans are connected, and salty seawater is always on the move. Deep, cold water current flows across the ocean floor towards the equator. Warmer water near the surface moves towards the North and South poles. Look out across the ocean, and you will see nothing but water and waves. Just below the surface, the ocean is teeming with life. Deeper down, the water is pitch black and freezing cold, but many creatures are able to live in those conditions. Quiet waters. Unlike the salty ocean, lakes and ponds are filled with fresh water. These normally quiet bodies of water are fed by rivers, streams, and underground springs. They form in low areas of land. Many of the world's ponds and lakes formed in a surprising way. Thousands of years ago, Earth was very cold. Thick glaciers covered large areas of Europe and North America. As these ice sheets moved south, they scraped giant holes in the land. Then, about 11,500 years ago, Earth warmed up. Many glaciers melted and their waters drained into the holes to form lakes and ponds, so they say. Fish and frogs, snails and turtles, ducks and dragonflies. These are just a few of the animals that live in and on and around lakes and ponds. As water plants soak up sunlight, they get energy to make food. Then they become dinner for insects, fish, snails, and ducks. And those animals are eaten by frogs, birds, and other predators. Quiet waters are the perfect home for all these creatures. Go with the flow. As rain falls and snow melts, water flows downhill. It forms fast-moving streams that join together, becoming rivers. The waters keep on going until it reaches the ocean. The kind of life in a river depends on how quickly its waters flow. Plants can't grow in fast-moving water, but they have no trouble surviving in slower water. Animals live in the areas of a river where they can find food. As a river races across the land, it knocks those loose bits of soil, sand, and rock. The fast-flowing waters carry those bits with it. The water erodes riverbanks. It digs out river bottoms. Over time, the rushing waters change the shape of the land. When a river reaches the ocean, its water suddenly slows down, and all of the sediment it has picked up falls to the sea floor. Round and round, all the water in Earth's oceans, lakes, and rivers has been here for billions of years. But that doesn't mean it has always stayed the same. Water is special. It's the only substance naturally formed in 3 different ways: solid, liquid, and gas. And it can easily change from one to the other. The water cycle. Water doesn't stay in one place for long. It's always on the go, moving from oceans, lakes, and rivers to the air, to the land, and then back again. This process is called the water cycle. 9 cool facts. Number 1. More than 2/3 of the world's fresh water is locked up in glaciers. Number 2. When ocean water evaporates, its salt gets left behind. That's one reason seawater is so salty. 3. Only half of the world's people have piped water in their homes. 4. A leaky faucet that loses a drop per second could fill 16 bathtubs in 1 month. 5. Water vapor usually stays in the air for less than 2 weeks. 6. Salt water freezes at a lower temperature than fresh water does. 7. The biggest snowflake on record fell in Montana in 1887. It was bigger than a dinner plate. 8. The energy in moving water can be used to make electricity. 9. During a downpour, rain may speed through the air at 20 miles per hour. Water and weather. The air around us contains a variety of different gases, but when it comes to weather, the most important gas is water vapor. Water vapor can become the rain that ruins a picnic. It can become the snow that closes schools. That's why people check the weather report before deciding what clothes to wear and how to spend the day. Near the ground. On cool nights, water vapor near the ground condenses. It forms tiny water droplets. When the tiny water droplets hang in the air, we see them as fog. When the water vapor condenses on objects like grass, leaves, or a spider web, we see dew. If the nighttime temperature drops below the freezing point, the dew changes into a solid. The next morning, we see frost covering the grass. In the sky. The air around Earth is full of water vapor. It's close to the ground and it's high in the sky. When the water vapor above our heads condenses, we see clouds. Clouds come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are miles and miles above the ground, and others are much closer. Scientists divide clouds into 3 major groups: cirrus clouds, cumulus clouds, stratus clouds. Too much, too little. Some parts of the world, it rains almost every day. In other places, it hardly rains at all. The plants and animals in these areas know how to survive in their surroundings, but sometimes the storm dumps too much rain. Rivers overflow and the land floods. The water can destroy homes and fields full of crops. Other times, little or no rain falls on an area for weeks and weeks. This is called a drought. Soil dries out and plants die. People may run out of water to drink. Too little rain can be just as damaging as too much rain. Let it snow. In winter, chilly air can freeze some of the tiny water droplets that make up a cloud. Nearby liquid droplets stick to the ice and they freeze too. As more and more droplets clump and freeze, the ice crystal grows heavier and heavier. Finally, it plunges downward. Falling ice crystals collide and form snowflakes. By the time a snowflake hits the ground, it may contain thousands of crystals. Water in your body. Water isn't just an important part of our planet, it's an important part of your body too. More than half of your total body weight is water. Your body uses water in all kinds of ways, from digesting food to getting rid of germs. Your body loses water whenever you sweat or go to the bathroom. That's why you need to drink plenty of water every day. Water in your life. You probably drink about a half a gallon of water each day. But you also need water to clean your food, clothes, and body. Believe it or not, you probably use between 80 and 100 gallons of water every day. Think about all the ways your family uses water. Using the table below, work with an adult to add up how much water your family uses each week. It's more than you expect. Water warning. We drink water. We use it to cook, clean, and carry waste out of our homes. Farmers use it to grow crops, and companies use it to make products. Since the 1950s, the amount of water people use has tripled, but the supply hasn't. In some places, water is being used faster than it can be replaced. Scientists worry that soon there won't be enough water for us and the creatures that share our world. What can you do to help? Use water wisely. Having enough water isn't our only problem. We also need to keep it clean. Right now, ships are dumping trash into the oceans, factories are dumping waste into the rivers and streams, chemicals that farmers use to kill insects are draining into lakes and ponds. All this pollution can make the water dangerous to drink. It can also harm fish and other creatures. We need to work together to stop the pollution. It's the only way to protect our world's most precious natural resource. Be a quiz whiz. How much do you know about water? After reading this book, probably a lot. Take this quiz and find out.